Welcome, 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 friends. Guess what day it is? I already told you. It is day 10. Day 10 of our 10 days to win the war against weight loss or plateaus or whatever is going on with your health, with 10 simple health hacks in 10 days. So with a little peer pressure from you guys, we are going to have a bonus day, which is going to be tomorrow. So today is day 10. As you're joining us, let me know where you're joining from. So whether it be here in the US, here in Canada, here in Asia, here in Australia, here in Mexico, let me know where you're joining from. So I've had an amazing time. My mom is watching from the other room. She is so silly. I have to get her on here because she has an amazing health story that I'm going to get her to share one of these days, besides just eating my keto jelly all the time. Anyway, my mom is silly. So she's not even saying where she's joining us from. She's joining from her bedroom, which is literally 15 feet from me here. So let us know where you're joining from. So let's get right into it. What is day 10 about? We kind of whispered about what it was tomorrow. This is one of the biggest health hacks that you can give to your body. So our ancestors, since the beginning of time, it did not have drive-through convenience. They did not have DoorDash. I just taught my mom what DoorDash was tonight. They did not have refrigeration or electricity, I should say. They did have some homemade refrigeration. So with that being said, as we came into this world, we were not meant to eat 365 days a year. We weren't meant to eat 17 times a day, which is what the average person eats. So what does that mean? That means what we've been doing is not working. That's why the diseases of civilization, which is heart disease, cancer, diabetes, is on the rise, because we are eating 24/7, 365 days a year. How do we stop that? We just stop eating. We just stop eating so often. We just stop eating so much, so often. And how do we do that? By doing something called intermittent fasting, which we've already talked about. And then what we do is we do some short day fasting. We do a little bit of extended fasting. So day 10, what we're going to challenge you to do is something just called a little bit of extended fasting. It's called OMED. One meal every day. And I do this one time a week, and then I do an extended fast one time a month, because I want my body to rest. There's more nerves in your gut than your spinal cord. Yes, as a chiropractor, I'm saying there's more nerves in your gut than your spinal cord. So think about this for a minute. When you have a ton of stress, yes, you can get a tension migraine, you can get a tension headache, but you can also get ulcers. You can have so much stress that it eats holes in your stomach. Think about that for a minute. Or you can have so much stress it causes diarrhea. I was going to say recurrent trips to the bathroom. I'm just going to go ahead and say that diarrhea. That's what stress can do for your body. Stress can cause you to overeat, right? It can cause your stomach to be gas and bloating and SIBO and irritable bowel and digestion. It can cause your whole pH of your stomach to be off. So how do we solve that? We just simply stop eating, because we know that if we're eating, we're either feeding a disease or we're fighting a disease. So on day 10, we're going to challenge you, that being me and my mom, because she's right here next door, we're going to challenge you to actually take a 24-hour period, or maybe an 18 or 20-hour period, and we're going to challenge you to not eat any food. You can still consume a few little calories. So if you follow Dr. Jason Fung's work, he says, to do at a 24-hour fast, you can have up to 300 calories, less than 19 grams of protein. So you can have water, coffee, maybe some MCT, a little bone broth, that's where your protein will come into, a little bit of collagen, that's where you can get a little bit of protein as well. So water, coffee, tea, ketones, a little bit of bone broth, that's in a 24-hour period. What happens in a 24-hour period is that men increase their human growth hormone 2,000%, and women increase their human growth hormone 1,300%. What also is happening, because your body's not digesting food, your stomach's not turning it into chyme, your liver's not sifting and sorting, your small intestine isn't worried about absorbing, your large intestine isn't getting things prepared for evacuation, your nervous system can actually rest and repose instead of having to worry about digest. Now your body can go focus on your immune system. It can focus on, again, your nervous system, calming everything down, increasing your dopa, increasing your GABA, which is your feel-good hormones. It can focus on something called autophagy, which is getting rid of those old dead white blood cells and focus on making new red blood cells, new white blood cells, getting rid of those old ones that were getting ready to expire anyway. It can also focus on doing something called neuroplasticity, which is making new bonds between your neurons in your brain when you've got attitude and gratitude going on inside your brain, which is, we could talk about a whole nother day. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow. So when you're not consuming food, because when your body is consuming food and you're eating those 6 mini meals a day or 17 mini meals a day, or you're popping in a snack or a handful of grapes or a handful of cashews or having a bite here and a bite there or a sip there and a sip there, your body's always worried about digesting all the time. There's so many processes involved with that by the time you put it in your mouth and then by the time it exits your body that it doesn't have time to do all the repairing that it needs to do on all these other organ systems. So I want to have you go along with me on a 24-hour OMED unless you have some other health crisis that you really need to check with your healthcare provider first before you do this. But again, we've been doing this since the history of mankind. Your ancestors have been doing this. If your doctor said, hey, we need to prep you for a colonoscopy, please don't eat anything after midnight, and your colonoscopy doesn't happen till 2 o'clock, and maybe you get backed up a little bit because they're running behind. Now it doesn't happen until maybe 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That could naturally happen. Or maybe you have your wisdom teeth out, or your kiddos have their wisdom teeth out and they don't eat for several hours, 17, 18 hours. That would be very normal. So this is not something that's abnormal to your body. It's something that's very normal to your body. Actually, as you come into this world, you're in a state of ketosis. It takes really a day or two for your mother's milk to come in, so your baby's not having any milk at all or any fluid, any calories until your mother's milk comes in. So you're actually a very native place for your body to come in. It's used to this happening. So, or if you've had the cold or flu, your body's used to consuming some food for a while until things actually come back into reason and you're back to your normal state. So I would love to challenge you. So no matter what time you've eaten today, maybe you had a 4 or 5 o'clock meal today, maybe you had a 6 o'clock meal today, then maybe the rest of the evening, let's not eat. We already challenged you to not have your last meal 4 hours before bedtime. I think that was on really day 2. And then we talked about intermittent fasting on day 5, and that was just a few days ago. Then let's say if you had your last meal tonight about 6, then let's not eat again tomorrow until 6, or maybe just make it till noon, and that would be 18 hours. What do you do in the meantime? Your day-to-day stuff. We're going to actually refinish some furniture tomorrow. I have a bridal shower to go to. Dr. Ralph's going to get some scaffolding and change a light fixture. I've got to do some sweeping. My mom's got to do some dusting tomorrow. I think we're going to do some vacuuming. You still do your day-to-day stuff. You still do your normal exercise routine. You still do your normal business. You don't just sit around and say, oh, I'm fasting, I do nothing. You want to burn through that glucose or glycogen, because glucose is actually toxic for your body. Remember, there's no essential carbohydrates. No essential carbohydrates. They're essential amino acids, essential fatty acids, but no essential carbohydrates. So when you're saying, I'm not going to have my banana tomorrow, I'm not going to have my toast and jam tomorrow, that's actually a gift to your body that you're not having that. If you have some bone broth with some lovely collagen in there, some healthy amino acids in there, your body's going to thank you, because you know how I feel about Gatorade. I'm sorry, how I feel about bone broth. It's God's Gatorade. So if you're just joining me, let me know where you're joining from. I'd love to know if you've been following us the last 10 days as we've been doing 10 ways to win the war against fat loss or breaking a plateau with 10 simple, easy health hacks. So as I shared before, I do a 1-day fast a week. So lunch to lunch, brunch to brunch, however it kind of works out. And I do pick my very busiest day of the week for 2 reasons. When my body's not digesting food, it's sending all the energy towards my brain. So it's focused on everything that I'm doing. My mind is not distracted by food, by digesting things, by going, oh, is there something artificial dye in there? Is there some MSG in there? Did she eat too large of a portion of protein? You know, oh, is that too much fat? Was there an egg in? Like that way my stomach's not burdened by that, or my nervous system isn't burdened by that, or is there a hidden food allergy? Everything is going straight to my brain. And while that, I am drinking ketones, so I'm getting 38% more oxygen to my brain, so I'm having better focus, better recall, better reaction. It's also taking away my cravings. I'm getting energy the whole time, so I don't get that slump that I would normally get if I'm trying to transition into a fast, into ketosis. And that's also creating satiety, which means you feel fuller longer. So I'm getting that crash as I go through that. And again, when you're busy, you know, you forget about eating. I also try to stay away from the kitchen, or I try to tell people don't cook bacon on that day that I'm doing it. But normally it's a day that I'm super busy, have a lot of things planned, because again, physical activity is going to burn through that glucose and glycogen. The quicker that I do that, my body gets into ketogenesis, where it actually goes and gets that fat and uncouples it, and then starts that whole autophagy thing. And then when you do an extended fast, which I do 1 time a month, this time a month is going to be June 14th. We call it the Reboot, and we do it for 60 hours. If you go to 72 hours, you actually make new white blood cell count. So that's something that your body does. A certain thing happens. So at the first 24 hours, we make new human growth hormone. At 60 hours, you've gone through all your glucose, your glycogen, and now your body's like, man, now I can really get into some good groove and action, really start really start focusing on that immune system and start creating new white blood cell. I've got on my YouTube channel, which is Ask Dr. Heather. It is a free channel. Go to the playlist. I've got about 40 different videos on preparing for a fast, why you would do a fast, intermittent fast, different types of fast, whether it's a fat fast, a water fast, an egg fast, an intermittent fast, extended fast, prolonged fasting, lots of different videos on that to explain it. So you can go into more information here. But for today's purpose, we all want to join in an OMED, which is 1 meal a day fasting. And then again, this is very normal. If my husband was a hunter-gatherer back in the days and he didn't get anything for a couple of days and then he actually ended up getting a big elk, he'd bring it home to my 4 boys and we would have a big feast day. So when you actually reintroduce the food, you would have that big feast day. You'd have all that big food on that day and we would celebrate. We'd still do our day-to-day activity. We'd still do all that work and then our body would be satisfied. We get that feeling of fullness. Oftentimes when you're eating 4 to 17 times a day, you forget what that feeling of fullness is. You forget what appetite even means. Or if you're hungry, we're just eating just because somebody brought some food to us or somebody I've got a girls luncheon date. I'm going to go eat and order food. I may not even be hungry, but you just ordered food because that's what you do when you're going out to eat with your girls. So we're going to help you realize when you're hungry, when you're not, and doing this OMED will really help you identify with that. And if you have a really good experience with that, then I really want you to reach out and say, you know what, I'm really ready. I want to try that Reboot with you on the 14th. I want to see what that feels like. So I'm going to ask a call to action tomorrow, probably later tomorrow night and say, but we usually do a movie night on Saturday night, but I'm going to ask you probably later, like, did you do that OMED? Did you do that 24-hour, 20-hour fast? How did you feel? What did you find? Because there's some hormones called ghrelin and leptin that actually the ones are hormones that tell you when you're full and tell you when you're hungry. Oftentimes when you're insulin resistant or you have some metabolic imbalance, they don't really call out to you rightly. They don't tell you, oh, hey, you're hungry or hey, you're full now. Sometimes you just feel hungry all the time because the switch has been flipped so many times it just stays on, or it's been flipped so much it's flipped off and you just never feel hungry and you can't seem to lose weight and you're just stuck. And that's why doing these 1-day fast a week or these extended fasts reset that button and reset those hunger hormones and those full hormones. And now they tell your stomach to your brain, oh, I'm full now. That's all I needed. And now we know that when we're hungry, it's our body saying, I need energy. Give me some food. Not, ooh, I just really have an appetite for apple pie. I have an appetite for carrot cake, or I have an appetite for bacon. That's really resets that. So to take this to the next step, that's what I want to challenge you to do. So I really hope on this 10-day, it's been super fun for you. I know I've had a lot of amazing feedback. You guys are sending me lots of great messages. I challenge you to share it with everybody who's joined below, because I'll get maybe 20 or 30 comments, maybe 40 comments below, and I'll have 100 messages in my box. So I'm going to review really quickly. I'm trying to talk slower for my Miss Kentucky friend here. So I'm trying to talk slow also for my mom. And so I want to thank everybody who's joining me, Joanne and Mary and Sandy and Miss Jill. I love you. Miss you, Priscilla and Kevin. So day 1, just as a summary, we said, hey, let's start here. Let's stop snacking and let's drink at least half our body's weight in water. Let's ditch the soda, ditch the sugary thing. Let's put ketones in that place, coffee, any type of herbal tea, and drink half your body's weight in water. Simple enough. Day 2, let's have your last meal 4 hours before bedtime. Simple enough. And then day 3, we really talked about sleep hygiene, getting your bedroom cleaned up, getting the TV off, getting the computer off, turning off your salt lamp, your essential oil lamp, getting your room nice and dark 45 minutes before bedtime. Still have a lamp on to read if you want to do that. Take an Epsom salt lamp. You could do your meditation. You could do some stretching and things like that. But getting the blue lights turned off, because we know that your body makes melatonin in the presence of darkness. So many people are taking melatonin and it helps them sleep, but your body can actually make it itself. Day 4, we said get moving. If you're not doing the standards, which are listed on day 4, you can scroll down, at least get to the standards, which are 15,000 steps a day. That's the minimum everyone should be doing. That's not it. That's not your activity. That's the minimum you should be doing, and don't count that as your exercise. That's your minimum. And then the American Heart Association, American Cancer Association says we should be doing at least, in addition to our 15,000 steps a day, 2.5 hours per week, which is 40 minutes 4 times a week. So if you're already doing that, then add in some extra movements. We talked about doing some squats every time you get out of a chair, or push-ups every time you go past a counter or past a staircase, doing some tricep lifts. We talked about that. So you can buzz back and watch day 4. Day 5, we talked about intermittent fasting, and what the researchers have found, the really sweet spot for intermittent fasting, almost more important when you eat than what you eat, is 8 8 hours. So get your food in 8 hours. Don't wait till 2 p.m. to eat and eat until 10 p.m. Really try to get in and eat between 10 and 11 or maybe 12 and eat till 6 or 7. So you're getting that 4-hour time frame in. And then day 6, that's when we said, let's get heavy. Let's cut those garbage out. Let's cut the potatoes, the bread, the pasta. That's where we really got the heavy and said, let's cut out those foods. So we waited till day 6. It wasn't super hard. I was already getting stories of people losing 3 and 4 and 5 pounds, of bloating getting less, their mood's getting better. They're saying like their rings are fitting better, their faces were getting less bloated, they're feeling like brown spots going away. And we hadn't even cut out the carbs yet. We were just drinking water and getting better sleep. Day 7, we started ditching the dairy. So I want to hear from you dairy people who really took me serious and you ditched the dairy except for grass-fed butter. I did put my YouTube video there, so if you want to know more about that, you can watch the YouTube video I posted yesterday on day 7 about ditching the dairy. Day 8, we said, let's cut the processed food. Long enough. We've talked about this enough. Quit the artificial coloring. Everyone agrees on that. Cut the artificial sweeteners. We all agree on that. It causes MS. It causes cancer. Causes toxicity. You guys can Dr. Google that up all day long. Just skip it. Not for 9 days or for 10 days. Just the rest of your life. Forget it. Not even on a holiday. Don't give it to your kids. Just ditch it now and forever. And then we talked about yesterday about metabolic confusion. Eating in a rotation. Don't just have chicken and broccoli every day. Don't have eggs and bacon every day. It puts your body in a plateau or standstill. Your body actually thinks it's in a starvation mode if all you're eating is eggs and bacon, chicken and broccoli, hamburger and green beans. The study's been done since 1940. So if you're eating the same foods every single day, your body will get in a stagnation. You don't expend the same energy every day. Your requirements are not the same every single day, especially if you're a female. Your cycles are changing every minute of every day. If you're a growing child, your requirements are changing every minute of every day. Physically, your requirements are different every hour, every day. You don't do the same activity. You don't sleep the same every day. Humidity changes every day, so your water requirements are different every day. So make sure you're getting all 21 essential amino acids. You're getting all the different fatty acids, eating all the rainbow of the food. So create metabolic confusion. That was day 9. Day 10, let's do it. Let's do a 24-hour fast and do an OMAD. So have a nice big Greek salad, have a nice big omelet with lots of veggies in there, eggs in there, a variety of different proteins in there, and have an enjoyment with that and really look forward to that. Or just have a nice big steak or chicken breast with a couple of vegetables and a side salad with some nice oils and avocado on that, or a nice big Greek salad is a great way to get those healthy fats in there and greens and protein in there. So let me know if you decide to join in. Raise your hands high and say, oh, I'm in, I'm so excited for this. I want to increase my human growth hormone. I want to look younger tomorrow. I want to look younger on Sunday. And that's the best way to do it. Yeah, you can pay for human growth hormone, or you can stimulate your body to do it itself. Better yet, because that's happening at the cellular level, it's bioidentical because your body's doing it itself. And you can do it once a week safely, 1 time a week. We know that if we actually cut one meal out, all of us right here watching us, all 20 some of us or all thousands of us watching it, if we actually cut out 1 meal a day, we can actually eradicate world hunger. It's a true story. I've been saying this for a couple years. The studies are out there. The average person eats 17 meals a day. If we went out and said, assume that the average person eats 6 meals a day and we all cut out 1 meal a day, we could eradicate world hunger. Just think about that. So what if we did OMAD and we all just went 1 day and we ate 1 meal 1 day a week from day to day? What we could do for all the starving people in the world. Just think how that could make you feel. You're actually increasing your own health. You're increasing your human growth hormone. You're actually helping your nervous system. You're helping your brain. You're helping your lymphatic system. You're helping your heart, your kidneys, your immune system. So selfishly, you're helping yourself, but you're also helping a lot of people around the world. So I'm going to close with that. I am going to check in on you tomorrow because I want to see how you're doing. I want you to go ahead and do a weigh-in and measurement like we shared before. I want you to check in on those non-scale victories, your sleep, your digestion, your mood, your brain, your recall, your reactions, what's happened over the last 10 days. I want to hear from you. Doctor does mean detective to me, but I also love health wins. I want to see what's happened with these really simple little health hacks. I love what you're sharing privately. Share it publicly because you never know what you might say that might help somebody else. So we have been giving some offerings away, as you know, throughout the 10 days. So my offering today has to do with ketones. So if you, because everybody's like, talk about ketones. I'm like, no, these are health hacks. So we're not health hacks. Yes, this is a major health hack tool that I've been using for 5 years. So if you have never tried pure therapeutic exogenous ketones, never tried them, I have a special offer for you, but you have to message me to get them. So if you've never tried them, Honest Abe, you need to message me. The offer is good. I have a limited edition that I can give away, and it's only good for a few hours. So generally I make an offer good for 24 hours because I have people watching from across the pond, and if the offer runs out before the 24 hours does, I'm going to say I'm sorry. That's why I've tried to pick this 9 o'clock time. But I just want to thank each and every one of you who've watched me and shared throughout the last. We've had so many people sharing, and I'm going to give a person who has shared the most. So you can't share 25 times today, but I am going to give somebody who has shared the most a copy of a free ketogenic book. So I am going to give, I love rewarding people. I also have a t-shirt, a ketogenic t-shirt I'm going to give away for the second prize for someone who has shared and been on here every single day. And I already have pulled stats before I said this, so don't go back and share. You can still share every day, but I've already pulled stats before I said that, so I already know who in the running is. But thank you for being here. But please go ahead and share today. Please go back and share the last ones, because I will announce the winners tomorrow, because I want to hear your stories. I want to eat and break fast with you tomorrow, Saturday afternoon. I have a shower at 2, and then I'll be back on here later tomorrow afternoon. But please share this information. You never know what somebody might just need to hear that might just spark their life to get back on track. Because sometimes a Groundhog Day happens to everybody. They'll say, tomorrow I'll start drinking more water. I'll slow down. Tomorrow I'm going to exercise. Tomorrow I'm going to get to bed on time. Tomorrow I'm going to eat some vegetables. Tomorrow I'm going to stop the cheese. Tomorrow I'm going to stop the soda. Tomorrow I'm going to stop the alcohol and Pop-Tarts. Tomorrow. But you know what? Tomorrow can start right now. Health is a verb. We choose to be healthy, or we choose to not choose health. So it's our choice. We're either feeding a disease or fighting it every single time we drink it. So my name is Dr. Heather Carden, coming to you live from Ask Dr. Heather. If you have a question you want to know, please drop it down below. Justin, I've gotten your questions on my board over here. I keep a dry erase board with all the questions people are sending me. I put tally marks as people drop me questions. So the very first questions we're going to start with is why I'm having dry skin on my low carb ketogenic diet. Why do I continue to have dry skin, dry eyes, and dry mucous membranes on my ketogenic low carb diet? We will start with that on Monday, or the first of the week. I don't want to guarantee a day. I do want to say cheers to you if you want to be in the running for some ketones. To way to get some free or discounted ketones, please message me within the 24-hour period. Is 9:17. I'm marking it down right now. And all of you who participated last night, that is over to get the free 24-page book. I've got all those in. I know I've received them, so they will be getting shipped out tomorrow. I'm doing my best to get those out as fast as possible. Everyone who wished for one got one. We did not run out. We cut that close, but we had just a couple left over. So congrats to everybody who wanted that. So thank you again for joining me. And remember, this is always meant to be shared. Let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching on replay, drop replay down below. And you guys have an amazing weekend. I hope you're having a wonderful time wherever you are. God bless, and I will check in with you tomorrow.